for Front Office Sports, continuing coverage of Super Bowl 59, live from the New Orleans Convention Hall. I'm Baker Machado. And yes, we usually talk a lot about football and a bunch of other sports, but this might be the first time we have talked about track and running. And I am so excited to have one of the GOATs of all time, the Olympian Michael Johnson, and of course, the Grand Slam track commissioner, in addition to Devon Allen, former Eagles wide receiver, and of course, an Olympian as well. Gentlemen, thank you so very much for joining us. Before we get into this amazing league that you have created and everything else, I got to ask about the game this weekend.
Of course.
Former Eagles player, obviously, I'm assuming.
Yeah,
rooting for the Eagles.
Eagles by a billion. No.
Yes. Being a former part of the team, watching how good the Eagles were this year, how was that watching them?
It's awesome. You know, I was with them last year and the year before, so it's about 80-90% of the same athletes, same teammates that I played with. And we had the guys the last few years. It's just you got to put all the pieces together. They finally done that. I think everybody's meshing really well on offense and on defense especially, and I think we got a good opportunity to win this game on Sunday.
And out of curiosity, we know you were injured. How's the recovery going? Because I know it's obviously going to impact this next game that you're doing.
Yeah, recovery's going well. Yeah, I had an injury last year, about 13 months ago. Recovery's going good. Recovered, now into training. Just getting back to my normal self, and I'm excited for the upcoming Grand Slam Track League first event in about 2 months from now in Kingston, Jamaica.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this. So, Michael, let's talk all about this creation of something that's really going to be fast and exciting with the Grand Slam Track League. For those, obviously, this is something new. Tell our viewers and our audience how this is going to work and how somebody like Devon plays such a big role in this inaugural year for you.
Yeah, I mean, it is new, but it's the sport that you know. It's
right.
not, This is a sport that everybody knows. Everybody's done it. And every 4 years during the Olympics, it is the most popular sport on the planet. Sort of falls off a little bit in that sort of time in between. So what we're doing with Grand Slam Track is establishing a true professional league for the best of the best. Guys like Devon, who are Olympic and U.S. champions, world champions, the best athletes in the world.
Daniel Roberts also.
Right, Daniel Roberts, Gabby Thomas, Sidney McLaughlin-Levrone. So these athletes are the best in the world. They deserve their own league so that they can compete head-to-head against the best and entertain fans. This is what fans want to see. We see it every year with, people watching the Olympic Games, just the high stakes, superstar athletes, great stories, and high-level competition. So instead of once every 4 years, we're bringing that 4 times a year now, starting in a couple of months in Kingston. Then we move to Philadelphia, Miami's next, Philadelphia, and then finishing up in LA.
Well, I understand, obviously, Philly, Miami, big markets, Los Angeles. Tell us the genesis behind Kingston, Jamaica. I don't think that was on a lot of people's bingo cards.
But it should have been, because if you look at if you look at the impact that Jamaica has had on the sport of track and field for decades now, it's unbelievable. I mean, the Jamaica-U.S. sprint rivalry is real. You're talking about a country of, 3 million people versus a country of 300 million people, and they actually compete, and they beat us a lot of times, quite frankly. So they've had an amazing impact on the sport. We thought it was important to go and honor that and go to Kingston, where the track and field tradition is amazing. But we're also, with all of our events, we're fusing culture with sport. A festival of speed is what each one of these slams will be like, starting in Kingston, where the culture is rich, not only for sprinting and track and field, but also for food and music. We moved to Miami, same thing. We're going to actually infuse our slam and our festival of speed with the culture of Miami. Same thing in Philadelphia, where there's a really rich tradition of track and field at Franklin Field. The Penn Relays, the historic Penn Relays, has been around for over 100 years. We're going to do that. And then we move to L.A., where we have the next Olympics, LA 28, and 84 Olympics. Everyone remembers the iconic Carl Lewis moments there. So
absolutely.
We'll be recreating those things. But at the core of this, it is entertaining fans with the best athletes in track, head-to-head competition, and storytelling at the center of it.
And we all know from watching the Olympics, the drama that comes with this, and the race itself, and how you can produce this and everything. Devon, what made you want to join this? Obviously, you being one of the big stars, in addition to Daniel Roberts, in this league. what made you want to be a part of it?
Exactly that. Being a star in this league is pretty cool, and we get the opportunity to be a part of things like this, media day to day, and a lot of activations and being involved with the fans, which we don't get to do a lot of times just in regular track meets. So that's pretty cool for one, and then the opportunity to compete against the best in our events every.
So are you going against Daniel? Like,
yeah,
is
yeah.
that how it's going to work?
Yeah, so it'll be me. Right now, the racers are me, Daniel Roberts, Freddie Critton, and Sasha Zoya, all probably in the top 5 in the world in the last few years in the hurdles. And so we're going to compete in the 110 hurdles and the 100 meters over a weekend, scoring the most points. Whoever scores the most points at the end of that weekend wins the grand prize of $100K, which is also unheard of in this sport as well. It's like, I've been in the NFL, and I know the pay gap difference between a pro football player and a pro track athlete. So, getting the opportunity to compete for a prize purse that big is pretty special. And then also just being able to compete multiple times a year, 4 times a year right now, and being visible, right? We're on CW on TV, and we're going to be on Peacock live streaming. So, that's really important, because a lot of times people don't get the opportunity to see us live. They have to find our races on YouTube or social media, when, it's so easy in the U.S. to turn the TV on and watch the NBA or watch the NFL, on Friday or Saturday or Sunday. So it's really special that we have that opportunity as well. So it's pretty cool.
Devon segued into my next question, Michael, which is the media partnerships here and the importance of those. I mean, I think it was just announced just about a week or so ago, the partnerships you have with NBC Sports and Peacock. How vital are those to the success of a new league that you're creating? To Devon's point, getting the eyeball, so you're not just seeing this on YouTube, but you're making made-for-television moments.
Exactly. So we're really proud of our television deal. We've got CW free to air for each one of our slams. We also have Peacock streaming as well. We were going to be televised in over 100 countries when we finish and announce all of the rest of our television deals. So this is a global sports property, and it's very important for us to have those sort of television broadcast partners so that we can get this product out to the masses. People have indicated that they want to see this sport. Track has not had a demand problem. People watch the sport. 300 million people a year watch at least one track meet, right? But they don't know where to find it, and then so those people now will be able to find us, because we'll now be consistent with our television product in terms of our times, our broadcast times, and our networks as well, so they know where to find us. That's really important. The problem with this sport is it has had a supply problem, not a demand problem. So what we're doing is supplying the high-level competition that people want to see. They've indicated that, 3 billion people watching the Olympics, watching the track and field in the Olympics. So now they'll have the opportunity to watch that multiple times.
And on that point then, obviously there's 4 big events for you guys, but is there potential for one-offs that then all of a sudden you're having your Tyson Paul match, which is Usain Bolt versus somebody, and you're making that a live for television moment, but it's a one-off?
You've been reading our business plan.
I know. Somebody's been leaking them. It's been happening.
No,
I feel like that's what it is.
Yeah, so obviously, these are the best athletes in the world, and they know that. But sprinting, speed, the most important sport inside of every other sport. That's why they wanted Devon to come play in the NFL, because he has speed. So we'll be giving those athletes from other sports, whether it's WWE or whether it's NFL or soccer, and celebrities as well, and content creators, all these people out there in the world who think they're fast, we will be giving them an opportunity inside of our slams, sort of our halftime show, as if you will be these sort of folks who come from outside of the sport, but who think they're fast. We will match them up against other people who think they're fast, and we'll let them run.
Yeah, and I think, Devon, from an athlete's perspective and a runner's perspective, that's got to be great, because it almost has a wrestling aspect to it, because it's, you versus another guy. There's the competition aspect to it. So do you then go into it training differently because of all of this?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's the purest form of sport, right? Competing one-on-one or 1 versus 7, in my case, in a race. And when you have like these kind of stakes and this many opportunities to compete against the athletes that we do, is like you kind of focus and taper your training around these events, right? So like on my calendar every year now is going to be, April 4th through the 6th, and then the beginning of May, and then the end of May, and then June, right? So like all the Grand Slam tracks that now we have a schedule for, I'm like really focused on those and being prepared to compete well, because those are the ones that's going to be on TV that people are going to see. So I want to put out my best product as an athlete, right? I want people to watch this and be like, wow, that kid Devon Allen, is a great athlete. Oh, and he played football and he ran track and he did all this stuff. And that's how you build a sport.
Mike, I'm curious, is the less is more mentality of 4 races better, kind of like the NFL model? Everybody loves it because it's this truncated period of time, and that's why the ratings are so good, rather than, say, Major League Baseball or even the NBA in certain situations where it's a very long season. Is the goal here to expand after those 4 matches, or do you kind of want to sort of keep them shorter?
We will expand to more. We already have cities around the globe who have come and approached us about being host cities as well. So we will expand in the next couple of years beyond just the 4 competitions. But I think you made a good point there, and that is that, it's fans want to know that the competitions mean something.
Yeah.
When you have too many games, then you know that, like in the NFL, with 17 games in a regular season, you lose 2 games, you're in danger of not making the playoffs, right? People know that those games mean something, where the NBA is a different product where, every game is not so important because you have so many in the regular season. We want to make sure in track that we continue to make the competitions mean something. And that's what's important about Grand Slam track. Like Devon said, the prize money is unprecedented, $100,000 for first place. Our athletes, our racers are being paid a base compensation, so they're guaranteed to be there. So our fans know these athletes are going to be there at all 4 of our slams. That's important, and it's a huge departure from what we've seen in the sport of track and field over the last 30 years, where the athletes can pull out of races whenever they want. They're not guaranteed. They don't really know when they're going to race. They don't know what their schedule is going to be, and they're not guaranteed a base compensation. And the prize money has been pretty poor at $10,000 for first place, which is not enough of an incentive for someone like Devon to go travel across the world to go compete against his rivals. But now we're offering him $100,000 for first place, $10,000 for last place, which Devon's not thinking about it because he doesn't think he's going to get last place, right?
No, of course not.
So it's a huge departure. We're professionalizing the sport and really just sort of sitting in the middle of bringing the greatest athletes to the fans.
I love that. We'll get you guys out of here on this. Devon, specifically, does this mean the door in the NFL is now closed, or is there a way that you can still be able to do both?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm really just focused on, one, getting back to my normal self, and hopefully this track season will prove that. And then once I'm feeling good, we'll make some more decisions about that.
April can't come soon enough, guys.
Yeah.
That means the door is still open. That sounds like the door is still open,
yes.
right?
I mean, hey, I'm not going to close it until I hang it up in all sports.
Yes, exactly. I don't blame you. Guys, this is such a pleasure. April can't come soon enough. So excited to see this happen. The legend, Michael Johnson, and of course, Devon Allen joining us here at Radio Row.